Once considered by far the best brawler in the game, it seems that Charlie has fallen into obscurity nowadays. Nobody really talks about her, and even less people play her, being the 76th most played brawler in the game. What happened to cause such a change, and why is this change actually unjustified? Let's start out with the basics. Charlie has solid health at 7400 and a normal movement speed. Her main attack sees her sling a yo-yo forward, damaging the first enemy and coming back to her. Like Carl, if it hits a wall or an enemy, it'll come back faster. Unlike Carl, it can't hit enemies twice. You can either hit an enemy on the way forward or the way back. The attack deals 1600 damage, has only 1 ammo, and has a range of 9 tiles. Charlie's super sees her fire a bundle of hair that puts enemy in a cocoon, with a range of 9 tiles. The cocoon has a health of 8400 and decays by 20% per second. Enemy teammates can damage the cocoon to help the cocoon enemy to get out, and enemies in the cocoon can't do anything but wait to get out, and the cocoon range is 9 tiles. With the basics out of the way, let's get to talking a bit more about Charlie. Obviously, what jumps out first is their similarity in main attack to Carl and to a lesser extent Lumi. They both have the trademark boomerang attack, with the main difference between them being Charlie's inability to pierce, but also Charlie's projectile speed that's 900 better, while allowing her to spam more than Carl. However, her super is where she truly stands out. The very concept of cocooning someone is broken. Imagine having the ability to take someone out of the equation for 5 whole seconds, which in Brawl Stars, a very fast-paced game, is a long time. The sheer amount of utility that it gives her, no matter the game mode, is incredible. First of all, it can simply be used on defense. An assassin getting too close for comfort, cocooned. Now you have 5 seconds to run or jump them with your whole team. Where the cocoon truly shines, however, is in specific game modes. Gem grab has to be the best one. Imagine this, you have 10 gems and you're about to win the game. Nothing can go wrong, right? Wrong. Charlie comes out of nowhere and cocoons you, forcing you to drop all your gems. This ability alone makes her one of the most powerful brawlers in gem grab. But that's not all. In Hot Zone, if you cocoon someone on the zone, they can no longer gain more zone percentage. This can be really useful for stopping enemy momentum while also building up your own percentage. In Knockout, you can basically force a 3v2, pressuring the remaining enemies or giving you the ability to jump the cocoon brawler. Finally, Brawl Ball. Someone blocking your path to the goal, take them out of commission with a quick cocoon. Someone about to score, take them out of commission with a quick cocoon. With that being said, we can see that Charlie is quite mechanically broken, which raises the question, how is she balanced? Well, to answer that question, we need to first go back in time to Charlie's release. On release, Charlie was one of the most broken brawlers in the game, and her super lasted an utterly unfair amount of time. Think 5 seconds is a lot. What about a whole 10 seconds of being in the cocoon? Because that's what it once was. Her digestive star power, which we'll go over later, also took half the enemy's health, meaning cocooning someone would half their health. Her unload speed was also crazy, her hypercharge was crazy, and you get the point. She was basically unstoppable and countered everyone and everything. Since her original design was mechanically broken, her release being overtuned led her to be so powerful. Therefore, she of course had to get huge nerfs. It took a while, but they managed to bring her down from the top, through a lot, and I mean a lot of nerfs. And it got to the point where she was even undertuned, at one point being among some of the worst brawlers in the game. And it was at this point when her play rate started to fall off a cliff. However, things wouldn't stay bad for her for long. She got multiple buffs, as well as reversions to earlier nerfs, such as to her super and hypercharge rates, and main attack range, as well as health and damage buffs. The combination of all these buffs and a general shift in the meta saw her slowly climb back up the meta, and get to the position she is in the current day, a solid A-tier brawler. Like I said in the Willow PowerPoint, some brawlers are uniquely strong against power creep. Charlie is one of them. The stronger other brawlers become, the stronger Charlie's cocoon becomes, as it gains value. For example, hypercharges. Cocooning someone while they're hypercharged can be a game changer, as being able to take out an enemy of one of their most powerful abilities is a very useful ability. Furthermore, the increase in the aggro meta has actually made Charlie a bit more useful. Yes, she's no longer as powerful against aggro brawlers as she once was, like on her release, but the sheer value her cocoon has against aggro brawlers has never been higher. Taking brawlers with this much power out of the game isn't only useful for Charlie, it's useful for her entire team, especially for brawlers that can't do anything against aggro, allowing her cocoon to give the team an insane amount of value. So, now she's in a pretty weird spot. Yes, she's one of the better brawlers in the game, and actually a solid counter to many meta brawlers in this meta. However, she's still overshadowed by brawlers like Otis, who's basically a better version of Charlie, and therefore she isn't played as much as someone who is as good as she currently should be. And with that, let's go over her unlockables, starting with her gadgets. Charlie's first gadget is Spiders, which sees her release 3 spiders that seek and attack the nearest enemy. At one point, this was probably the best gadget in the game, but even now it still has a lot of utility for Charlie. It allows her extra damage and health, but more importantly, it's her golden ticket for the single shot matchup. Placing this against a sniper allows her to easily move up the map, pressuring the enemy back and forcing them to waste important ammo. Her second gadget is Personal Space, which sees her cocoon herself, healing 50% of her total health. This is a solid gadget, giving her basically a get out of jail free card, not only protecting her from any threat for a good 5 seconds, but also healing her for half her health, which is not an insignificant amount. Her first star power is Digestive, which sees enemies lose 25% of their health when cocooned. This gives more value to her super than it already has, not only stopping enemy actions but punishing them with a health decrease that makes them easier to kill once out of the cocoon. Slimy sees her cocoon leave a slimy trail for 5 seconds that slows down enemies walking over it. This is a pretty situational star power. The slowdown it gives can be useful in certain scenarios, but a lot of the time enemies will simply avoid it, and it only being there for 5 seconds sours its usability. Finally, her Hypercharge. Charlie's Hypercharge is Pestilence, which sees her basically spawn her gadget spiders with her super. This is a pretty solid star power, as more spiders is never a bad thing unless it's real life. Overall, there's nothing too much to say about this other than it saves the gadget usage. Overall, Charlie has had a pretty interesting brawl career. From an absolutely broken release where she was one of the best brawlers of all time, to massive nerfs making her fall into obscurity, to a very solid niche in the current meta. It feels like she's almost been in every tier of the game. However, where she goes from here will be intriguing. With more buffies being introduced, will she get stronger or will she get power creep? And what will happen when she gets her own buffies? As always, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe to help support out the channel. If you want to support the content even further, become a member for some special perks like helping out on videos or choosing PowerPoint brawlers. And finally, watch this video, or check out this playlist, or join the Discord server, or check out my music channel if you like the music in the video.